Hey everyone, so today I'm going to take a look at the Fiio BTR5 that just came out, and then I'm going to be doing a little comparison to the ES100 that I have here. And just to preface, this is the ES100 MK2, so this is the new release with a different color and also the different bigger improved buttons. So this isn't going to be a full-blown review. There's a lot of other people on YouTube that will give a much better, thorough process. But I just wanted to share my thoughts and kind of give, I don't know, the average listener's opinion on it. So I've had the BTR5 for a couple days now, and I've got maybe 2 or 3 hours of listening on it. Just prefacing this with I'm very, very happy with it. I would say it's just as good, if not better, than the ES100, which is saying a lot considering how loved the ES100 is. So before I get into too many details, I will just do a quick overview. So I have been listening to the BTR5 with my Campfire Audio Polaris V2s, which I also just got about a month ago, and I've been very happy with. They replaced my IE80s, which I didn't think was possible. So, but yeah, we'll get right into it here. So, as most of you guys know, the layout of the BTR5, it is a much more premium feeling device than the ES100. The ES100 is all plastic, and I know that in a world of premium feeling devices, glass and metal sandwiches, people give a lot of flack to plastic devices. But for a device like this, I feel like, you're going to be taking it with you. You want it to be, I don't know, not fragile, but you want it to, take a little beating. And I feel like plastic will handle that a little better than glass and metal. And that's the case in the BTR5 here. So the BTR5 is all glass here on the front. You can see how reflective that is. And then it's also glass on the back, which makes it feel very premium in the hands, very fingerprinty, but it's all aluminum. On the right here, we've got your power, play, pause, and then volume up and down. And then that's also track select. Nothing on the left side here. On the top, you've got a 3.5 millimeter unbalanced, and then a 2.5 millimeter balanced output. And then on the bottom is a Type-C connector. And the Type-C connector is very good to see on a modern device like this. So I'll go ahead and power it on. One other nice thing about the BTR5 is it has an AMOLED display. So I'll go ahead and power it on. You see it shows Fiio. It doesn't actually flicker. That's just my my phone recording the video. And I've been talking to myself for the last 3 minutes. When it connected to my phone, it definitely interrupted video recording. So moving on. Like I mentioned, it has a AMOLED display. It's a single color AMOLED display, but still I think it's cool that they got an AMOLED display in here. So let's see. So I typically listen to most of my music while I'm at work. I have a desk job most of the time, and I will listen to my Campfire Audio Polaris V2s with either the ES100 or the BTR5 here. And one thing to quickly mention, which a lot of people already know here, is that the BTR5 will not support equalization over the FLAC audio codec for whatever reason. I'm not sure if this is a physical limitation of the device or it's just not enabled in the firmware, but the ES100 will support equalization over FLAC, or I'm sorry, over LDAC. So I have my IE80s before my Polaris V2s, and I would equalize not the crap out of them, but I would adjust it to my tastes. And although after I got my Polaris V2s, I don't have a need to equalize at all. The sound signature of these is A+ for my tastes. So when I listen to the Polaris V2s on the BTR5, I don't necessarily miss the equalization factor. So one thing I do want to do real quick is go through the menus on the BTR5. So let's see if I have it powered on still. Yep. This does have a 5-minute off timer if anyone is curious about that too. So I did disconnect it from my phone because I was getting it was interrupting video. But there is an app for the BTR5, and I would recommend using the app for anything, changing the settings on this. There isn't a whole lot to change, not as much as the ES100, and that's mainly for the EQ. But you can do it on the BTR5 itself here, and it's not the most intuitive, but they did a good job with the limited amount of buttons that they had. So your power button up top here, you just hold it for a couple seconds, and that gets into your menu. And so you've got your filter here, and let's see if I can do this without the glare. So you get your filter, and you can pick between your filters, and you can use your arrow keys to go up and down. And there's a lot to choose from. And so basically, your top and bottom buttons here act as your navigation buttons. So you get your filter, your EQ, your dimmer, which controls your screen brightness. And then you can change if you want USB 1.0 or 2.0 audio. I'm honestly not exactly sure why you'd want to do that. And then car mode, charge and on or off. And I think this you can change the way it charges. I'm not 100% sure on that one. And then high gain or low gain if you want. I could probably get away with low gain. I haven't tried it yet, to be honest, with my Polaris IEMs. And then your firmware version. So it's intuitive enough to change settings if you don't have the app available. But again, if you've got your phone handy, you've probably got the app handy. So I'll preface this with I suck at describing how things sound. Whether it's, warm or bright. I will say that I am pretty sensitive to sibilance, and I do aim to kind of have a dip at the 5,000 to 8,000 hertz region to kind of prevent sibilance. I will say I was more sensitive to it 10 years ago than I am now. I'm 29 now, and so I do like a fairly V curve profile. Plenty of presence down low with a slight dip around 300 to 400 hertz, just to kind of separate the bass from the mids, and a fairly flat mid range with a little bit of sparkle up top. And I do like a wide soundstage, and both of these give a nice wide soundstage. By the way, that really wasn't an issue, but I really I don't have a whole lot of bad things to say about either of these devices for sound. Both are very, very good. I feel like you're going to be happy with whichever device you choose here. All of my listening was over LDAC, so it was all 320 kilobits per second Spotify, and I have a fairly mixed preference when it comes to music tastes. Like a lot of hard rock, but I still listen to some of the modern music as well. So, but yeah, as far as the sound goes, I really don't think you're going to be disappointed here. Like I said, I suck at describing audio, but if anything, I did have a little bit less sibilance in the BTR5 here. I can't say for 100% certain if that was the case, but it just felt a little smoother up top. And I don't want to bash the ES100 here because this is still a great device, and I wouldn't necessarily rush out and buy a BTR5 if you own an ES100 right now. It's just kind of a different different taste, I guess. But yeah, like I said, I apologize. I don't have like a Z reviews style of describing how it sounds, but there's, like I said, there's a lot of other YouTubers that would be very a lot better than me at describing the sound. Pretty much going to wrap up the review. I do have one other quick thing to say here. The BTR5 did come with a little clip, and I will be using this clip. I do like to clip it onto my shirt, so it does just kind of pop in there. So pretty easy. It gives it kind of a cheap look. It's kind of unfortunate that you have this nice glass and aluminum sandwich that is covered up with this plastic case. I do kind of wish they had a clip integrated onto the back. That is one of the nicer things about the ES100. But yeah, guys, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Feel free to subscribe if you want. I kind of want to showcase my hobbies a little more and just kind of start talking about them and making videos about them. So, but yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you all have a great holiday.